Whoops, I wasn't recording. Probably good, right? But we want people to understand that everything, type this in the chat, guys, is a process. And guess what I'm so very excited about? That pre-launch is getting ready to end. But Vibe officially begins. It doesn't mean we're going to be without certain challenges. So, number one, we have a phenomenal support team. So, I want to get out of the way for just a second because I'm not quite sure if Reagan is out of her meeting or not. But I know Javian, you're on here. Can you give a really quick update on how phenomenal, number one, our support team is doing and share kind of the milestones, maybe any kind of loose ends that we're tying up? And Javian's a firefighter guy, so he might be in the fire truck right now. Uh, but then also just what we need from the field during this pre-launch stage until we can communicate with you from inside of our system where we're not on Telegram. We don't even have to be on Zoom anymore because we would be in our own back office and I can talk to you guys back there. And if the scammers and the rude people who are mean to me online, just kidding, I don't care. um, if they want to come talk to me, they'd have to pay to come talk to me. And then it's a win-win anyway, right? But that's where we're getting ready to get to. So I don't know if JVN can hop on or not. JVN, are you out there? Oh, sorry. You're not co-host. Hi there, my partner. How are you?
I'm doing great, ma'am. How about you?
I am doing great. So listen, JVN is a real firefighter, guys, and one of the dopest DJs on the planet. So I can't wait until we have our first event. We are having a big event in Chicago, June 12th, 13th, and 14th. I'll get you guys a flyer. But Javian is a real firefighter. So sometimes he has to jump off and go literally save somebody's life. And then he works like no other person has ever worked before. Him and Reagan overseeing, and then our whole support staff that you guys talk to every day. So, Javian,
Yes, ma'am.
give us some updates on, first of all, the milestones, any challenges, and what do you need from the field?
Gotcha. So we do, some of you all may have received a message saying, hey, we realize that maybe this error here or this error there. Nothing that is drastic, but definitely, for example, the white page with the blue button, you all may have seen that. We now have that under control. So the biggest thing when you get that is when you all send these support tickets in, and they are phenomenal. We appreciate you all kind of getting to how Megan said, let us know what the issue is and then how you feel we can fix that issue. Is sending in screenshots as well. So if you're sending a support ticket and you're saying, hey, I have this issue, I'm at this point and I don't know how to move forward, those screenshots definitely help us make sure that you all can know that we get you all to the right place. The support staff has been working tirelessly, but enjoying what we're doing because we're able to talk to the field. We realize, we kind of stand in between what you all are doing and making sure you all can do it effectively. So getting those screenshots in when you're having these issues allows us to get directed to what your problem is. And then, get it fixed. A lot of you all have sent in messages, being in support of the support staff. Trust me, we love it. We appreciate it. Things are a lot better as to how efficiently we can speak with you all. So if there's an issue that you all have and that issue has been fixed on your own, by you, just make sure that when you're going through those tickets that you go back to that same ticket that you were on and respond there and not send another one in. I know some people, I've spoken with some people who weren't familiar on actually how to do that. Those support tickets are kind of NPM style. So it's not like you're sending an email, receiving an email. You're simply going in wherever you started that first ticket from, and you're responding to that ticket. You'll see this either going to be open, it'll be in a pending status, or it'll be closed. When it's closed or it'll say resolved, then we felt we've already, taken care of that ticket. However, if it hasn't shown on the resolved side, then check that ticket, see what the response was from support team, and make sure that, you know, if it's not done, then we're getting it done for you. But for the most part, we've been able to actually go ahead, go through those tickets, get them closed out. I know support says 24 to 72 hours, but if you all check back, most responses are within 8 to 12 hours because you're trying to knock them down. But other than that, I mean, things have been great. We pretty much know every milestone that you all may have come across because believe if you saw it, someone else saw it, they let us know, and we're pretty much on board getting where we got to get to, Megan.
Perfect. So just to kind of recap, guys, and I know someone asked a question in there. Yeah, the support staff is great. Try not to, I know you want to thank them. It's kind of like JVN when people are constantly wanting to thank me. I don't mind, guys, but if
Just
you, I have 150 text messages and 500 messages on WhatsApp, and I'm not exaggerating, and thousands of messages on Telegram that I don't answer because I don't know, I don't message on Telegram. Um, so when I respond and I get all of those 150 text messages answered, guess what everybody does, JVN?
they're telling you thank you and
They
how
all
great.
text me back a thank you, and then
Look,
I'm like, I I'm just one of those people who I don't like to look at my text messages and see unread text messages. I am just a control freak like that. I've only had one phone number in my whole life, and you guys have it. So just I would just say if it's resolved, just don't respond back, right? Doreen wants to know, how do you go back to the ticket?
so go back to where you sent that ticket at. They're going to be, I believe, on you all side is two boxes. It'll say open or it'll say resolve. If it's still open, it'll then be a pending ticket there for you to respond to.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much, Javian. I'm sure that as we get rolling, the first 90 days, guys, of us, you got to be diligent. And I'm talking to you not like an owner. I'm talking to you like if I decided to get into a startup company, right? And I can handle it, and most people can't. They can't, most people can't handle it, right? They want to come in when the house is moving ready. They don't want to help move the furniture around, right? But somebody has to do it. Amazon started, Facebook started, MySpace, for those of you guys who remember MySpace back in the day. I'm dating myself, right? Somebody has to thank you, come with the hammer. They have to say, hey, no worries. And if you ever watch my favorite show right now is Married to Real Estate, right? It's Married to Real Estate. You got to watch it. And nothing ever goes as planned when they're trying to redo somebody's house. There's always going to be something in every project. They always have a challenge. But what I love about that couple is they work together. They hug, they kiss through the whole project. And then they didn't beat each other up in the process, right? We're all on the same team. So go through the channels, guys, and do your support ticket. And then if it's something that's dire, get with your leadership and they can tell me. And then, you know, I don't step over support because they will spank me every time, right? And I
I
get
would
it. It's
love to
for
step
a
in.
reason. It is for a reason because we don't want to be, I'm working on a ticket, Javian's working on a ticket. His whole support team that he has coached with Reagan is phenomenal, guys. And you don't even get to see those individuals. They don't want to be working on a ticket for 15 minutes and we already did it. It slows the process down. So send the support ticket clearly and then get with your leadership if it's something dire. Let me add this last thing. Thank you so much, JV, and I appreciate you so much. I believe in customer service. It's just I don't have a customer service voice. It just doesn't come off the same way um, when I do it, right? I have a coach's voice and I can try all day to sound all cheery and stuff, but I'm a get it done type of person. So I don't want to offend any of you guys. Okay. So you don't want me in support. All right. So I want you guys to thank you so much, JVN. We are going to hear from our director of education. Let me give one more thing. Tonight is going to be a really big night at 8 p.m. Eastern as well. And we're going to talk about this Legend 777 system. Also, I showed you guys what I do to grow big teams. It is so basic. This guy told me that how I do it is super basic. And I'm like 75,000 people later, 12,000 people paying a charter membership. I think I'm winning at this point with my basic. And I learned it from a person who made $48 million and he never does funnels. He never does anything like that. He does the basics and I do the basics really well. Michael Jordan did the basics really well. Kobe Bryant did the basics really well. It's why they are who they are. It's when you master the basics is when you can go to the next level. Put a 777 in the chat if you guys are wanting to join my group, right? Thank you, Joanna. She said, jealous folks. I know he was seriously trying to throw shots at me 75,000 people later. But um, I'm going to teach you guys the basics because it's a challenge to go and do all the extra techie stuff. You can do it, but you don't do it first. Does that make sense, everybody? You can do it, you just don't do it first. You learn the basics and you get good at the basics really fast first. So I'm excited because my document is probably going to show up somewhere. Where will it show up? I'll probably have a new tab right here in this space. Okay. And it's the Legend 777 document where I want you to like embrace it. And then I've turned it into videos as well. And then I'm going to teach it to you guys personally inside of my private Telegram that I'm setting up. Now, I'm going to drop that in the group in just a second so that you guys can fill out the Google form if you haven't, because I'm going to call each and every one of you. You get 2 minutes from me, okay? So don't talk about your kids. My question for you is going to be, do you want to go on this road with me, this journey for 90 days, right? You want to focus on 777 because I know if you drill down 7 levels, you are going to love being over here, right? With the income. That's all I'm going to say. And I can talk to you about it privately. But I'm going to call you guys on the phone. That's my question. Do you want me to coach you personally? And there's some stipulations to that. So we'll talk on the phone offline. What I want you guys to do is make sure you're on Megan's Legend update right here. It is so very important that you understand where we are in the process. And finally, we're on track, right? Thursday, yesterday, all charter members only, write this down. Only the charter members can be seen in the matrix, right? Only the ones who paid the $25 are positioned in there. All of the other people you guys can pay. You have until Sunday. The reason why you're not in there right now, because what if Javian signed me up and I paid and now I get to go into the Legacy Network, into the Matrix, but Javian hasn't paid yet because he's waiting to get paid today or whatever. That wouldn't be fair. That's why we're giving you a definite deadline. Okay. And we're given a definite deadline. It said, what about folks in the first 8,100 who are not charter members? They're not in yet because you didn't pay your $25. Okay. So Doug, that's a really great question. Only $25 people fell in to the matrix. If for some reason you paid your $25 and it says charter member back there and you're not there, which is not likely, right? But send a support ticket if you see something. It's only the $25 people who are in there. Okay. How do you view the matrix? Go click a whole bunch of buttons, Miss Pamela, right? That's the very first thing, which I love you very much, but that's the very first thing as a networker, guys. You don't have a lot to look at back there. I need you to get back there and push every single button like it's a brand new car and find it, right? You don't have to ask anybody. Go back there, and I ain't even going to tell you, and I could tell you, but I'm not going to tell you because I want you to go back there and push every single button that you see back there. Okay. By Sunday, June the 1st at 11:59 p.m. PST, this will not change. It's the final cutoff, unless our programmer says, hey, I need another day, which I shouldn't say it won't change, but he's programmed it in not to change. And he's on track right now, so don't test him. You have to have your 160 PCV or you will not fall into the matrix. You will not fall in there. Okay. You could have a Elevate membership and you signed up a pro and that's 200 points you have. So you should fall in there. Nobody has fallen in there but the charter members who paid $25. You have until Sunday, and pre-launch is officially over, and we move into official launch in Then we handle what other tech issues that might pop up, right? But we fumble through it, right? Monday, June the 2nd, we are on track for you guys to be able to unlock and see what the portal. You can log into your back office, and I will tell you this, it's going to be forever expanding, because perfection is the enemy of profitability. The main flagship product has been ready for months. That is our Vibe Vault. There's a lot of other things you're going to be able to do back there, but guess what? You're going to be able to put it back there because Vibe Global is you, right? That's where you get to go through Vibe Global onboarding and start making sure you can get your content back there. It's where you say, I got some ideas for Vibe Style. You go through the onboarding for Vibe Style, so you don't have 15 colors on one shirt. And it's a great idea and it's a great slogan, but the design needs some tweaking. Does that make sense? Put a one in the chat, everybody. So you'll go through that process, because as a Legend member, what are you really paying for? Extra market insights, right? And the ability to create. And then everybody gets access to the Vibe Vault, where you can go to class, you can get educated, you can go through the academies, but you want to create over here. So Monday, that's going to open up to you guys. Okay. Fast start bonuses will roll up immediately. We'll talk about this stuff at 8 o'clock tonight, because I don't want to take any more time away from the woman of the hour that I want you guys to meet, that I totally like is one of my favorite people. If I had a favorite person in the whole world, she gets me, right? And not only that, she is just a phenomenal individual. So I don't want to cut into her time. But I just wanted to kind of stress that, guys. You need to make sure you have at least 160 PCV from your personal product, or that you've referred somebody that gets you over there. I have to call you back. I have to call you back, honey. I'm on a call. Okay, bye. Love you. Bye. Sorry, it's my daughter and she's in Puerto Rico, so gotta answer the kids. So anyway, I'm super excited to go over all of this with you guys. We're gonna talk about, hey, when do I get paid? Where's the money? Show me the money, right? So I'm excited about getting out of this stage and moving into some new territory. If you guys are excited, give me your best excited word. Because it's been 5 months, but thankfully it wasn't 3 years like we experienced, in other companies. So we are winning. So I want to get out of the way, and I want to um, introduce to you guys a young lady that I am just, she's going to have to give you all of her credentials. But the blessing about this young lady is that she is our director of education. And it would take me forever to run down her credentials. And she's such a humble person that she's not going to want to tell you everything. And I'm going to make her, because she's that phenomenal. I have worked with this young lady for, when was that? 2021? It was 20.
That's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Uh-oh, somebody's unmuted. Hold on one second. It was 2021 when I first got a chance to meet this young lady. And sorry, guys, I'm just trying to see who was unmuted. Okay. And I was blown away by her, just by her tenacity, by, her knowledge of the markets that she's involved in, which is not just the financial market. So hopefully she will tell you some things that she can tell you, right? And then I also worked with her in another company, and it was the most amazing experience ever. That was a couple years ago. And then I just worked with her last year, and she was one of the most sought after individuals, educators out here, right? So I'm just excited that now she is our director of education, and I can work closely with her. And she's dealing with probably close to 30 different educators, and what she does is just phenomenal. She's a mother, she's an entrepreneur, really a game changer. So Miss Zia, are you out there?
I am. Hey, y'all.
Hey,
Everybody.
your sister, let me add spotlight. My bestie.
Girl. Hey, everybody.
Well, listen, I need you to brag on yourself. I know you don't like to do it, but
Okay.
I am going to s- mute myself out just so you can brag on yourself for a minute. Then I'll come back up and we can go from there. Okay. So let me just
Absolutely.
remove myself for a second.
You're fine. So, hey, everybody. My name is Zia Berger. I am out of Nashville, Tennessee. Some of you may know me, some of you don't. If you don't, how you doing? I'm your country cousin. I want you all to just kind of get a little bit of insight about me. I am a certified trader through the Bank of London, been trading full time since 2014. I do a lot of different things, just not just in the trading space, but just in the trading industry overall. Welcome, thank you. Just in the space overall. I'm a mother of two. I was a regular person. Thank you. I was a regular person. So I started off as a nurse, and when I started trading, I made the same amount of money that I was making in a year. I made that in a couple months. So that just kind of made me really look at the markets like, oh snap, I really need to hone in, pay attention, and make sure that I have this education. So that way, when it is time for me to potentially maybe go into a different zone or go into a different field or industry, I actually know how to make money out of the markets. So fast forward, I don't like to date myself and say how long I've been trading, but if y'all can count 2014 to 2025, that's a little second. So with me trading for that amount of time, I don't just trade in the Forex markets. I'm an investor at this point. So from Forex, futures, options, crypto, I'm pretty much a little bit versatile when it comes to investing from real estate to Turo to there's a lot of different hats that I wear that have all been funded by trading to some degree. And then for my newbies, y'all can answer me in the chat if you're completely new. For my newbies, if you are completely new to trading or kind of skeptical about it or not really sure about what that experience or what that would take or what it would need from you, honestly, it's just your attention. Everything is as easy or as hard as you will make it. So I'm just super excited to be over here at Vibe to give you all not just the proper information, but to give you the information that's going to be able to allow you to really see what the markets are for, what they are versus overhyping it or making it cliche like somebody who is just a nurse can be a full-time trader like myself, right? And just because you're trading or just because you're here and you start off trading doesn't mean that you have to be a trader for the rest of your life. Because I'm gonna be honest, in the beginning, I was sitting at my desk for a little while. At present day, right now, I don't sit at my desk a lot unless I'm in a meeting or helping somebody or doing something or doing business. So do I still trade? Absolutely. Life, and you have to take moments to pause. But when it's time to get back, it's just like riding a bike. Okay. The one metaphor that I'll give you all before I swing it back over to Megan is if you know how to wash clothes, that's literally how simple trading is. It's the same thing over and over and over again. So as long as you know how to wash clothes, and I'm sure everybody here knows how to at least wash clothes or wash dishes, same process. You just do repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Same thing over and over and over. You get really good at something and you do it over and over consistently. But otherwise, hey y'all, how you doing? Oh, Megan, we can't hear you.
Sorry. You guys are going to absolutely love Zia because everybody that we work with is, or that has made a decision to work with us, um, are so down to earth. And I, I was listening to Myron Golden talk about educators. And when I was an educator, I taught the lower level kids. I taught the basic English class. And then there were individuals who taught IB, the higher, the kids who were in their higher levels. And I always used to say, I would go in those classes, Zia, and those kids could teach themselves. You could literally leave the room and never come back. And those kids are driven by grades. They're driven by they're going to be the valedictorian. The challenge is when you go into a room where now you have the kid who should be the valedictorian who doesn't want to work hard all the way to the kid who can't read and they're 15 years old. How do you teach those kids? And that's what I really feel like, Zia, you and your entire team that's over here. Um, you guys do very well with just not telling us how much you know and making us feel like we're dumb. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say it. but
Well,
really
it's
getting us
not
to know.
my job to make a whole bunch of mini me's because everybody learns different. So what I like to always start with when learning who someone is, when it's time to mentor them or teach them or even educate them. What is your superpower in real life? As a nurse, my superpower is I'm patient. I was really good. I worked in geriatric. I work with people with PTSD. I'm super patient, super calm. You're not going to get me at a level 10 unless you're messing with my kids. Otherwise, I'm at a 2 on a regular basis, right? So with that being said, if that's my superpower, it's easy for me to transition over to being a nurse because I can wait for a couple hours for some pips. I can wait a couple hours for profit. So one of the main questions that you have to ask yourself when it comes to trading or anything in general, what is your superpower there? So that way you can use your superpower when you get over to the charts. So if you're inconsistent on a regular basis with work, you're going to be inconsistent on the charts. If you are unorganized in real life, you're going to be unorganized when it comes to being on the charts. Or maybe you're corporate already. You have an amazing job. You went to college. You have all of these um, accolades. You're probably going to overanalyze everything because you were trained to do so because you have all of this schooling or all of this training. So you just have to really decide what are my strengths right now in real life? And then from there, we can take that and we can see how you will be able to best fit or best use the information that we have.
You know, and I love what you said about, because I never thought of it that way. I am very over analytical because I taught high school English,
Yep.
and you never want to be in a room with a whole bunch of English teachers. Most annoying thing ever. We will dissect the thesis statement for an hour. Like, what are we doing here? Um, but that was my biggest challenge. And I said, this time around, I've been in so many Forex companies because I get it. I do value. My problem has always been kind of pulling the trigger because I'm so over analytical. And I think I lost a trade one time and I was like, okay, maybe it's not for me, but then I jumped back on the bike, but I'm ready to do it for myself now. So Zia, two-part question. What is the London Bank of Institute? Because you guys really brush over. I know you've worked with Courtney Logan for years, and in two previous opportunities that we were working together in as well. And you guys really brush over your accolades. Like we know what that means. And then I stopped to look it up and I was like, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Let, let's talk about what your accolades actually really say or really
So
like. Can
with
you talk
the
to me
with
about
the
it?
certification through the Bank of London, it pretty much gives you market abilities or able to see the markets a little bit different, shall I say. So disclaimer before I go into like the credentials and all that, you don't need all of that to start trading. But because I was already a mentor of some sort in church and other things in my community before I started teaching, getting a certification would help set me apart from other traders, right? People that you just see on YouTube or something that keep me apart from other people. So with the certification, it's specifically in market analysis. So I can dissect any chart. You give me some candlesticks, it might look like just squiggly lines to you, but I can read it with the quickness. So that certification through the Bank of London, it's me and a couple others. Like you said, Courtney Logan, who have it. Um, it's something that we got, I think it was 2017-ish. I don't remember the exact year, but if we would have been able to continue with it, we would have been able to actually go to the floor in London and trade. So it's just as important as Wall Street that we have here in America. It's just on the other side of the world. And I don't know about y'all, but I like to travel. So but unfortunately, because of COVID and after COVID, they no longer offer it. So most of the information that was given there or that we kind of learned, they don't even have a program anymore for you to say, hey, I at least want to do a digital version. They don't do any of that. So COVID kind of messed that up, but luckily y'all have me. And me and Courtney are really good partners when it comes to trading in industries and just kind of putting things and projects together. So you have us him in the community as well. So being able to have both of us just gives you a different insight on the charts, not
Absolutely.
just from a technical standpoint, but from fundamentals, like everything that's going on with Trump and the new, like all of that information. There's enough information in the Vibe Vault that y'all will be able to say, oh snap, I didn't even know what was really happening around me, if that makes sense.
And that's what I'm most excited about because while everybody, well, we've been friends for a while and we vibe on a whole nother level, obviously, with our Abraham Hicks. I did, and,
Ooh.
and you keep me on my high flying disc all the time because you guys are going to learn this about Zia. She is just as cool and calm as she is right now. There was a whole flood going on and tornadoes and all kind of stuff in Nashville. And I'm talking to her like, everything flooded, right? Everything.
Mhm. We had three tornadoes back to back in my neighborhood. I moved in my same neighborhood, but like a few blocks over. Then we had a huge flood in my direct neighborhood. So, yeah. At this point, you just have to be proactive and just kind of navigate.
Absolutely. And so that kind of brings me to this industry. Forex has really allowed you to go from, which you have a really interesting story, to go from um, taking care of your own self, your own health, and
Mhm.
focusing on your children and being able to be in the markets. And it's really afforded you a life that honestly, once we get into your class, and we're probably not on this public Zoom, people are really going to get a chance to really know who the real Zia is because you're not just in the Forex market. I mean, you do a lot of other things as well. And I'm excited about it. I'm just excited to hear where your entrepreneurial endeavors have taken you. Um,
Absolutely.
let me ask you this question. So you came over as the director of education. You've been on some of the biggest stages when it comes to this space. And like I have said to everybody, to Jamar, you and Jamar know each other, that your whole group is, I stalked you guys back in 2019.
Well, you got me.
I'm not even gonna lie, guys. Listen, because I was starting to get into this understanding that now network marketing is going digital and it's so much faster when you get into a networking company where the product is more digital, where I don't have to wait for a juice pill or potion to ship to somebody's house. People can pay their membership and go right into now our vault where you are and 28 other people in academies, and they can access the product immediately. But yeah, I stalked you guys in 2019 and I never really thought I would have an opportunity to work with you. And then when Courtney had reached out to me and then we kind of became besties, then he said, "You got to meet my real bestie." And I got a chance to meet you, and 20 of our people flew and drove 18 hours to come meet you guys. And you guys did a boot camp for 3 days for my team years ago. And I said, how do we get them over here? So let me ask you this question. Why now? How are you over here in this grassroots? Wait 5 months for us to really get this program off the ground. And you could be anywhere, and you've been a lot of places, and people have paid you a considerable amount of money. Why now? Why come to Vibe?
One of the main things, one of the main reasons why I love it over here, we love God, amen. But he's over here. On top of that, just the fact that we're able to put the education together, in a way that actually serves the field, if that makes sense. So you being a teacher yourself, not necessarily micromanaging or any of those things, actually allowing me to kind of put certain things where they need to be to make sure that the people are actually getting the information. A lot of times in other companies I've been in, there's information, but it's not information that people can use to actually be profitable. Right. So that's one of the biggest differences for me, not just with the Forex course that's back here, not just with the crypto course. There's binary options, there's what we have sports betting, there's the marketing course, like there's all of these different things back here, but they're not just simple courses where you go through them and you're like, oh, okay, that was nice to know, like a quote. It's actually meat and potatoes back there that's cut up into bite-sized pieces. So I just love the fact that we have lots of information for them to be able to kind of really absorb. And one of my biggest, I guess I'll give this to you guys as a nugget. I am a reader. So my tip for you all, once you go into the vault, treat this like a book. If you're not a reader, then you probably don't do this. So take this note from me. when you read a book, don't read it to say that you finished it. Read it to understand. So if you need to take a few moments on some of the homework back there, or rewatch a video that's 3 minutes, maybe 4 or 5 times to make sure you really understand, do that. Don't just go on there and start actually just going through it to say, oh, well, I finished the Forex course, I finished the crypto course. It might look like it is bite-sized because I chopped everything up to make sure it was, so you're not overwhelmed with information. But I want to make sure that you're doing the homework, because there's homework. Make sure that you're actually doing the follow-up steps, right? You want to make sure that you are holding yourself accountable. We've got the information for you, but if you don't actually apply it, then it's useless.
No, and I love the just the flow of it. I love what you've put together. I love the fact that you very much kind of let me just come in and say, okay, maybe we can do this as well. I haven't had to really do that with you because you know exactly what you're doing. It's your space. I come in with the, just for those of you guys on here, I come in with the brain of, I'm a visual learner. I don't understand. I do want to understand. So how can we make it even more understandable? That's just the word. How do we make it even more understandable for the person who really does want to learn? No, this isn't for somebody who says, well, I don't really want to learn. And just like I used to tell my students, if you don't really want to learn, like the teacher will appear when the student shows up, right?
Absolutely.
So if you show up, so somebody asked the question real quick. Most people don't know where to invest their 401k, like what stocks to put it in. Can you help with that?
Can I help with that? Yes, that is a class
I
that
know
will,
some things.
right. That is a course that will be coming up later. That is not going to be there automatically right now. So once the doors open on Monday, I want to kind of set your expectations a little bit. There are a lot of courses back there, like a lot. We've been working on this a long time, but you're only going to get to see a few of them. We're going to drop them. So you're not over inundated with information, like I said. So complete some courses, and then in a few weeks, you'll start to see more. So yes, I can answer all of those questions. You should be as knowledgeable, if not more, than me and my colleagues once you're done with most of these courses. For
Perfect.
sure.
So I'm kind of getting to the questions in here. Someone wants to know if you're a Libra. I forget, when's your birthday? You said,
I'm not a Libra. My birthday's the day before yours,
oh, I
girl.
forgot.
Dusty.
She's a Taurus, guys.
Yeah, I'm a Taurus.
I
May
forgot.
the 13th.
I'm sorry. I'm like, we just had a birthday.
We did. Yep, we absolutely
We
did.
didn't get to celebrate like we were gonna celebrate though. That's why, because we were all sitting right here on Zooms,
Awesome.
tying
Yes.
up loose ends. So no, she's not a Libra, she's a Taurus. Someone asked, are her classes included in the Legend bundle for no additional cost? It's actually, guys, remember, Pro and Legend, you get education. So even if somebody has a Pro, they get it. What's the difference between a Pro and a Legend? It's a lot of value though. The Legend membership, you get the market insights, which Zia, I'm going to have you kind of talk about that. And you get the ability to create. I don't think people understand how powerful that is. And when you guys go back there and you go into Vibe Global and there's nothing really back there, why? Because you're the vault. It's Vibe Vault where you're going to see all of our stuff. Vibe Global is you. Now you got to go through onboarding, and don't you want to be the one to get your course back there first? Because people are going to buy it because you're first back there. So 1,000 people might go buy your course because they're waiting for other people to get their courses back there. So speed up. You want to speed up when you get back there and start going through onboarding and through the process and answering the questions so we can get you in Vibe Global. But no, you guys get access to all the education minus, look at the PowerPoint slides, the market insights. What is a market insight, Zia?
So the market insights, we have a few different types. We have crypto. So the crypto market insights are basically ideas of different coins that are dropping, different projects. So it's not just actual trades. Let's say you're interested in projects that are happening. I don't know if anybody knows what NFTs are or DeFi. You're gonna get those type of ideas. You also have, that's on the crypto side. You also have Forex ideas. So if there's any opportunities that somebody says that they see that they might be interested in. Again, it's an idea. It's not anything that you have to take, but we're just telling you what we're looking at and what we're potentially interested in. Then we also have what is it? Binary options? Yes, binary options is the next one. Same thing with those. So you're going to get a couple of those throughout the week. Excuse me, throughout the week. And then you're also going to have a couple of slips from sports betting. So we have all these different categories of different ideas. Again, at your leisure, you'll be able to look at these and decide if there's something you want to take. But on top of getting the ideas, there's a course basically to go with each of those. So that way, if somebody posts, let's say there's a DeFi coin that's called in the cryptocurrency idea section, it'll tell you exactly how to purchase said coin or exactly what you should look at to determine if this is something you do or do not want to invest in. So that way you're not blindly making any decisions in regards to, hey, this is something I'm interested in, this is something I'm not interested in. You'll be able to make that decision for yourself, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So, and I've been in companies like the company that we were in, that I was talking about where we blew up and we were making a lot of money. They only had actually, just so you guys know, this is this has kind of been our running conversation for years, really. Um, how much do you give people until it's like it's just overwhelming? There is going to be a lot when you guys go back there, but there's a lot more that we are going to roll out as well because I've been in a lot of companies actually with Zia, and I was the marketer. She was on the education side, and that's how we got a chance to really meet. What we don't want to do is have people sitting on Zooms all day, not Zoom, sorry, sitting inside of the platform because you can go to live class. You don't want to be sitting on there all day, nor do you want your team sitting in class all day because what's the first thing people want to do when they get home from school?
Not sit on
Go
the
to
dumb.
sleep.
Yeah, they want to rest.
They want to rest. And what you don't want to do is overwhelm people. And it's happened. It happened to you, right, Zia? You guys at one point were teaching how many classes at
Teaching like 4 to 5 times a week, and it was so much to where the people were showing up to the classes, but they weren't able to apply what was being taught. So the way that it's structured over here, you're going to get one class a week from all of the educators, and then that'll give you time to do homework. That'll give you time to, and but you might not be with all the educators. If you decide to choose crypto, you're not going to see me. If you decide to choose, who else we have? If you decide to go on the mindset course and you're in all of those courses, you're not going to see me, or you might not decide to see me. But if I were you and you're in trading, you need the mindset and you need the trading as well, because that's going to be a huge part of what you do.
Absolutely. So, like she said, guys, we have a lot of educators, but we opted we opted to have them teach once a week. Like you'll see Jason once a week, but Jason is going to have homework for you. Jason's in the personal development mindset side, whereas some of our other educators, like you had seen Jamar and Barnaby, you might want to see them a whole bunch of times, but think about how college operates. I had a class, my heavier classes, every Tuesday and Thursday, right? I had 15 credit hours. I want you guys to think about that. 15 credit hours is a full load. How many is 15 credit hours? It's like 5 classes most of the time in college, or because each class was like 3 credit hours. So think about that. I had a class, couple classes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I had maybe one, maybe two tops classes on Tuesday, Thursday. So you got to think about if it's not broken, don't fix it. You don't want to have 5 classes a day like high school, and those kids are not retaining nothing. They ain't listening. They're overwhelmed because I was overwhelmed teaching 10 classes a day for 50 minutes and I'm moving them from one. They're not retaining the info. So we want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to do that. Somebody asked in the chat, uh, maybe you can answer this question. Hold on. Something about the president. Let me see. It was a good question though, so I won't put you on the spot. Oh, how has President Trump, do you think, affected the Bitcoin market?
Significantly. I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to Trump being in office, and just the asset classes in general, he always does amazing for the markets. So it doesn't really matter if it's crypto, whether it's crypto, whether it's actual the stock market, whether it's Forex, futures. He always does amazing. And I say amazing, but from a financial standpoint, he does amazing because he makes a whole bunch of people a lot of money who know what's going on. From a person who doesn't know what's going on, y'all probably like, oh, this man is going crazy. What is happening? So this is why coming to class is so important, so that way you'll get the proper information.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, we don't speak, guys, so we're never going to get into a political debate, but it is what it is. Like, the man's the president, and in the word, it says we have to pray. And I've talked to different people. Like, I've talked to business owners who are thrilled that he's in office for their not political reasons, for their financial reasons. So when we're speaking to you guys, we're not, or our educators are speaking to you, they're not going to end up in the principal's office, right? Like, I was always in the principal's office because I just said whatever, which that's why I'm not teaching there anymore, probably. Um, but we're always going to be speaking from a financial standpoint,
Yes.
right? We gotta take our emotions away from things and say, this person is going to be in office for this many years. How do we capitalize on it? It's almost like COVID, where I it's touchy, Zia, to talk about COVID because a lot of people lost family members, and it was one of the most devastating times for people. But for people who had online businesses and we didn't have to leave our house, it created more millionaires and billionaires. So
Oh,
so Zia, do you say that, like, being in Vibe right now, let's take everything away. Let's take the courses away for the people creating courses. Let's specifically focus on the vault, right? The
okay.
flagship product that technically people are really paying to get into the vault. Um, how can that type of education potentially be beneficial for us in the long run? Like, getting that Forex, DeFi, crypto, sports betting, market insights, personal development. Where do you
You'll be able to with the positioning that we're in right now, you'll be able to properly interpret what's happening around you, and not just the fear factor of, oh my goodness, he's got tariffs, oh my goodness, he's doing this, but you'll be able to properly interpret the news. We have literally an educator who only teaches news, teaches you what you should be paying attention to, why it's important, gives you homework, makes you watch different things. Now, I love fundamentals. Fundamentals is an amazing part of trading, but I don't like sitting and watching the news. So I'll listen for keywords, but because I have the education, I know what keywords to look for. Most people don't. So most people just go with the hype or the fear of what's actually presented. So with the information that's in the vault, you'll be prepared not just in the Forex market, but in the crypto market as well. And I'm gonna be honest, the Forex market and the stock market, that information kind of goes over the same. So you'll be prepared in general, in my opinion.
And I think that's what it is. It's not freaking out. You are very calm as a cucumber. I've never seen you like, I'm waiting for,
It
like,
doesn't happen.
are you
Sorry.
gonna get upset? Are you gonna react at all? And you're like, high flying disc always.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn
Got me
from
together.
you.
I've been with Abraham Hicks, or watching Abraham Hicks, and my other one is Wayne Dyer. That he's another one of my favorites. I've been watching, listening to them since 2012, something around there. I've read a lot of their books. I've tried to go to a couple of conferences, made one, missed a couple. So it's very hard to get me here.
I know. I was listening last night because I felt myself like now I can see it on my forehead. I said, I only get a hot flash when I'm met with any kind of resistance.
Oh, do not do that.
So I'm like, you can see it, right? When I'm met with any kind of, like, I got to make a decision. So I did listen to my Abraham Hicks last night, and I listened to Myron Golden, and do need to get on my Wayne Dyer. It's Wayne Dyer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I need to I need to stay on my high flying disc
At
because
all.
at all times, because it's necessary not to be emotional in the markets, correct? It's
Absolutely. That's why I'm as calm as I am. Again, I'm a patient person in general, so it's not much that's gonna make me go off my rocker. But when you're trading, if you're a firecracker already, they're going to be a firecracker on the chart. So you might be down $20, and to me, that's not a lot of money. But if you're risking $20 to make 100 and you're down maybe 10 or 15, you're probably going to lose your cool. If I was looking at that, if you understand how to read the charts, that won't bother you.
I
So
love
it's just about finding your calm.
finding your calm, right? I got a little fan and I listen to, I just, you're like,
Just keep it
right.
cool. I actually just added inside of the Forex course, in between half of the sections, I added a mindset portion just to make sure, because I understand I've been a newbie before, just to make sure, okay, you learned some information that was probably a lot. Now let's go ahead and get back in a good place, right? Because what tends to happen is self-sabotage, right? You'll start to get to a place where you're doing really, really good. And then you're like, oh wait, I don't deserve this. And then you're now going from being profitable or to executing to I'm too afraid to hit buy or sell, which you were just doing it last week. What happened? Nothing. It's the same chart, nothing changed. Right. So just making sure that I put those little tidbits in there right now, is kind of what I've been doing lately.
Perfect. So I'm going to answer real quick. Are the classes distinct by beginner, intermediate, advanced, or combined? We do have, that's one of the things that we,
It's pretty much a mix of both. Because I was certified through the Bank of London, my beginner is not the beginner that you would see on YouTube or Google. So if I were you, if y'all are interested to in any degree in trading, if I were you, start from the very beginning and go to the very end. Even if you already know what pips are, or even if you've been trading for 5, 6, 7 years, or you've been trading for 2 years, whatever that looks like, start at the very beginning, because my beginning is not your beginning. Start at the very beginning, and then from there, go through the information, and you'll be able to see like, oh wait, I thought I knew this. I knew a portion of this, but I didn't know all of it, if that makes sense.
yeah. And a
Um,
lot of people have had to I mean, you guys are the best of the best. That's why I say when I'm looking, when all these years that I've been going through this, I will 100% say that I believe that you guys are the best of the best that I know. Am I saying you're the best of ever? I'm saying you're the best that I know, and it's the patience. And I look at the teacher, because not everybody can teach, and that's the difference. Not everybody can teach everybody. And when I say I feel like you guys are the best, it's because I feel like your team can teach everyone. You can teach the kid who could barely read a chart to the
mhm.
person who's been trading forever, but they're not a consistently profitable.
Trader, yeah.
It's one thing to my son is a phenomenal at sports betting. He's like, but you got to know how to lose too. So that's why we have personal development over here, guys, because my son probably would be up $200,000 now if he once he learns how to lose and walk away for a minute. So yes, guys, intermediate or beginning, intermediate, advanced. We tried not to use those terms because when people see, this was a conversation Z and I had. I said, I don't want to use the word beginner because when people see beginner, they're like, oh, that's not me. So they
Mhm.
skip the fundamentals. So I didn't want to use that word. It was a conversation we had months ago, right?
So,
So just kind of to answer that question, guys. And then someone asked, do we get to speak with the educator one-on-one if need be? Well, there's 70 something thousand potential, a million people getting ready to come over here. But when you guys are in class, Zia, can you talk to us a little bit about how we really feel like class should go, like the structure of the class when it
oh
comes
yeah, of
to
course.
beginning.
When you come to class, or one reason why me and Megan get along so well, I'm a teacher in real life. Like, so when you come to class, there's literally going to be a timer that's going to give you a moment to get it together. Meaning, don't come to class unprepared. Make sure you're ready. It's going to literally say this on the video. It's going to say, "Have your pen and paper out. Are you focused? Are you multitasking? Are you paying attention?" That video is going to last a few seconds. After that, each educator, not just one or two, each educator is going to tell you what they're going to talk about before they talk about it. Okay. Then they're going to actually get into the actual content of whatever that lesson is. And then from there, they're going to go into your questions. So you have to make sure that you're attentive and asking questions. And in some cases, you're going to be able to have a survey to get from each of the educators. So if you have a question, maybe after the class ends, you can send a question in the survey and they can answer it on their next session.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's not live. I mean, I'm sorry, it is live, but it's not this kind of interaction because that would be crazy.
Well, technically it is. So it's not Zoom, but you will be able to chat. You cannot unmute, unfortunately, but
But fortunately,
that keeps the classes calm. So the replays are good enough for y'all to be able to watch them without getting over inundated with questions. So just
yeah.
make sure y'all remember that when you come to class. I have a
Yeah.
few questions here. Somebody asked me Wayne Dyer's last name. His name is Wayne Dyer. That's who I listen to.
How do you spell Dyer?
Dyer.
Okay.
The book that I absolutely love is Wishes Fulfilled. I've read it like 20 times. Read it, please and please. Another question I see here is, what got you started into trading? That is a good question. Um, Honestly, it was my son. So clearly, I know I told you a few moments ago I was a nurse. My son got super sick, and I was always in and out of like crypto and looking what was going on the charts. But because I was actually working, I worked at a few different places working. I didn't have enough time to actually focus. Um, when my son was born, he was born with a few complications. My son was actually a twin. So my son was born with some complications. In the midst of my son having his open heart surgery and us being at the hospital for weeks on end, um, my grandparents are literally like my best friends, or were before they passed away, bless their hearts. But like my best friends. So I remember my grandmother telling me when I was younger, if you already know that you're getting ready to be in a stressful situation, or you know that there's going to be a moment that's going to really impact your life, instead of you sitting there and just waiting for something bad to happen, how can you turn it around for yourself? So while I was dealing with all of the stress of being at the hospital with my son and him being in a caged crib and all of the different tests and the wires hanging off of him, when he was in the cage crib, when I couldn't touch, hold, or coddle him, and he was a baby. He big now, but he was a baby. Instead of me sitting there and just wallowing and being sad, which I was in class. When he would go to sleep, when the nurses were gone, I would be in class. My mentor at the time, or one of my mentors that you might know, was Steve Morrow. So learning the market maker system directly from him. I literally was in class. So the exact same moment where I feel like my son got a new heart, my family also got a new life. Now it was sad because we were going through the works.
That gave me chills. It really did. Like,
Emotionally, we were going through the works. Like it was a lot. Being at the same hospital that I worked at and them telling me that I had to come back to work and they know my son is right here in the hospital. Diabolical. However, everything happens for a reason. Everything,
I always love when you say diabolical.
because that don't even make sense. Everything happens for a reason. So with that being said, it was that moment or in those few months that I was really able to lock in. So after that, when we got home, I didn't do family reunions. I didn't do barbecues. I was in college still, going for another degree. I wasn't even doing anything besides that, right? I literally would study, study, study. Um, you can literally look in our photo albums, and there are family reunions that I missed. There are parties that I missed. I don't have a picture of me walking in my cap and gown across the stage because I was focused. So I don't know if everybody has the willpower or the focus that I had at the time because my situation was a little bit different. But if you are able to put that amount of focus or that level of focus in, I promise you, all of the time that I lost, I'm gonna say maybe a year and a couple months, all of the time that I lost focusing and dealing with my son and feeling like the world was on my back, but still locking into trading and learning this skill set, I just knew this skill set was going to transform my life. I knew it. There's no other way. Me locking in is what really transformed how things went these next couple of years. And here we are. That was 2014, 2015. Here we are, 2025, and I haven't had a job since those times. So
Yeah.
it's worth it. So if that, hopefully that answers your question. That's what got me started trading. It was actually my son.
And you're winning on all levels of I'm just trying to be like you when I grow up and learn what you know, because I mean it's beyond these relationships. And I think people are starting to understand based on the questions that they're asking is from the beginning, we always said, me and Reagan and Dre, is like, we're not going to gatekeep our relationships because I have probably one of the most powerful circles, I believe, for where I am in my life, where I've gotten a chance to connect with, multimillionaires that are walking around and are inside, and all of you guys where I I can learn from you. And you're so super successful in a lot of areas of entrepreneurship that I'm sure once people get into the vault and get in your class and this thing really starts to expand, they're going to learn far more than just Forex from you or crypto. And you talked about Toro, you talked about, not to just put it all out here right now, but you are super successful. And I just appreciate you, sharing that information. Real quick, because I know it's 2:13, guys, and they have a lot of questions for you,
Right.
but um, we're not, I can answer this one. In trading Forex, will you or we determine the amount to put in our live wallets? We're going to focus on the education, right?
That part. But I will teach you how to determine yourself. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm gonna tell you how to determine yourself.
Right. Okay. So let's see, what else are they saying? Your private group chat and call. Helene, I think your question, no, you wouldn't want to take your information from the back office vault and put it in your private groups where people aren't paying. She was just asking a question. I think, if I'm getting your question right, Helene, you don't want to, no, you don't want to take the information and snapshots and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you're going to kill your own business trying to
Yeah.
give people stuff for free, and then you start giving them stuff and you're not giving it to them the right way, and you're putting them at risk doing that. If people want to learn, they got to come into the party, right? They got to come into the party. Not to say that you guys can't have your own vibe tribes and talk about what's going on in class, but you got to do that behind the doors. You got to log in and do that so that it's not, you're just talking to people who don't want to pay, so they want to kind of go around the back door, and then you're going to be responsible if you don't give them the right information. So I don't know if you were asking me that, but hopefully I answered your question. Somebody said, I hope most of these classes are given after 5 p.m. They're spread out, these classes, because you have to remember we're not just US based, but you also have to remember everything is also recorded because we can't accommodate everybody. It's part of the reason why I do this 1 o'clock call, and then I also turn around and do an 8 o'clock call, because you know and then we'll kind of look at what our population needs the most. But I think we've done a really good job because this ain't my first rodeo. It ain't your first rodeo, so we know what people need, but we also understand that we have to give people a break kind of in between that time where people need to be able to work their businesses as well, or they're at work. So yeah, we understand that. Anything else you see on here? Let me see.
Someone said, Jerome says, tell them how they will get the heat if they act a fool in class. I didn't say that. He did. I don't know what you're talking about. I plead the fifth.
We have fun, like I like to have fun. I mean, I do this, and I'm a real teacher, and I'm going to be in the vault as well, but I'll be in the vault for kind of exclusively in the vault for some people as well. But I like to have fun. I want to make education fun, and that's what I love about you guys. I've been on a lot of classes with people. I don't want to be bored. I want you to teach me like I'm a real person. I want you to teach me like, yeah, no, I got a baby on my hip or something, and I want to sit here and I want to be able to focus and learn this, but I also want to have fun in class as well. And I love that about you guys, that you are real people that we're bringing on. And hopefully people see that we're bringing on real,
We'll hear real stories.
with real stories, but with real credentials. Don't get it twisted. Real people with real stories, with real credentials, doing it for real.
Yeah.
You ain't had a job since when?
2014.
And I said ain't because I'm a retired English teacher. But 2014, and I know, I know that you're doing it for real. That's the thing. That's the thing. And you're doing it big out here. And you've been able to teach on some of the biggest stages. And that's why I'm just excited that this grassroots opportunity that we
Correct.
brought to you, and you're like, yeah, I'm down.
Absolutely.
And your team was like, if you're going, we're going.
Half of the educators here, guys, have the certification through the Bank of London. So make sure you are attentive because even if the title of the class is foundations, the foundations that you could Google is not the foundations that you're going to be taught. I guarantee. I know. We did the same course. Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna get the real and not the I'm trying to get followers on YouTube. So I'm
No gatekeeping. Yeah,
right.
I don't need followers on YouTube. I enjoy homeschooling my kids and being at home. I'm not looking for followers. Someone asked, when does class actually start? So, Megan?
Monday. It's on Megan Lynch's updates, so go through there. So that is our projected date where, and it's payout time and all that good stuff. Everything starts on Monday. That's why by Sunday you have to be active or you won't be actively in class. So, and obviously you're going to get to see the calendar. We're going to have a lot of onboarding and things like that. We'll have onboarding videos where you guys don't have to necessarily be here for me to tell you. You can go into your back office and go through the welcome video. You can look at the roadmap that Zia did a phenomenal job on because you're going to want to know, where do I go? So the roadmap, you really want to take a moment and treat it like college orientation. You know, you go through orientation and you got to just figure out where the cafeteria is. Don't skip that stuff. You're going to financial, you're going to business school, you're going to mindset school, you're going all of that. So it'll say onboarding. Go through the onboarding, right? Go through the onboarding so you can figure out which direction do I want to go right now. And everything is recorded, so you're not going to miss anything either. You're going to get you're going to get way more than what you're paying for. Trust and believe, right? When you purchase a Legend package, will you need to purchase access to classes in the vault, or are they all a part of your membership? That is the membership, guys. Vibe Vault is really technically is the Pro and Legend membership. The only different, it's all the education. So you get all of it. All the people you've been meeting, they're in the vault. The vault is really all we had, right, Zia? That's how we started. It was like, and it was enough because the vault itself is, I would tell you, tens of thousands of that you're not paying tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm talking a month.
Yep.
With the amount of with Jamar alone. I mean, Jamar ran a whole entire crypto group, right, Zia? And I couldn't afford it.
Yep.
Back in the day when I first met Jamar and when I first met you and I met Courtney, and guess what? I worked for Courtney for free. And I helped to market a $20,000 course for him. And it was like 150 people who bought that course. And I just wanted to be connected to Courtney. So I worked for free basically as talking to his people. Like I did set up 15-minute calls on a calendar and I talked to his people who were spending $20,000. And that's how I got really close to Courtney. And then I met Zia. And then I got to see Jamar, which I couldn't afford Jamar at the time either. But you develop relationships. So now you guys have those same types of relationships. It's all in the vault. That's what you're paying for. And it's so very much worth it. Let's see. It's 2:21. So hold on. Let me just, they really like you, Zia, and they really have a lot of questions for you.
Like I said, y'all got any questions, ask. I got a little bit of time.
If you missed the start of the course, how do you catch up? Everything's recorded. We got the book title. Amazing, amazing. Great, guys. Absolutely not. People should pay for the information. Yes, Lonnie, you're right. Don't give away our goods for free because it's been blood, sweat, and tears. And we didn't have to twist anybody's arm. I mean, Zia, I didn't have to twist your arm, but as soon as we decided that we were going to do this, I was like, how in the world do we get them over here? Because you guys were one of the top products somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, listen, they were the number one product, them. So I was like, I don't know what they're doing, but it's a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yeah.
So all I can do is ask if they would be interested in this grassroots opportunity as a really as a rescue mission for our people. And we really go to school and we really learn and we really learn how to keep our money and not just be out here in all these other, because there are some crypto scams out there. I mean, I cried in my Cheerios. I lost 100 grand in 2 days. I'm still not over it and don't even want to talk about it.
Crazy.
Like that was probably as close to where, and I'm not even lying to you, as close to needing a psychiatrist. And I laugh about it now, so I don't cry about it because it's gone. It's
Yeah.
gone, but I can't go through that experience again.
Yeah.
So this is why we teach people inside of these classes. This is why we have you guys where you can say, yeah, I might not want to do that.
Y'all will know after class, not just with me, but with some of the other educators. I'll let y'all get familiar with them yourself. But y'all will know after class, you'll be able to tell, because I'm going to tell you, you'll be able to tell if somebody actually knows what they're talking about or not. Now, that doesn't mean you start going on YouTube or Google and calling these people out, but that means you understand their level of information and education. So that way you can make an educated decision on if you do or don't want to invest with somebody.
Yeah, and I think that's something. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this Google form too for people
You're
who
fine.
are asking for it, but I think that's the biggest thing. It's people try to get me into things all the time, and there's just some things I'm not gonna touch. I don't care who has it, how good it sounds, because I don't have that level of risk in me anymore. And I know too much now, not because I know, because I'm connected to you, Zia. I'm connected to the many 20 something educators that are over here, where I'm just going to ask a friend who knows stuff.
You know, but once you know better, you do better. And now that you know, we will not go down the rabbit hole.
We are not going down the rabbit hole at all. Zia, sorry, I'm trying to get this.
You're good. I'm looking at these questions here too. Um,
I was trying to get this link. I can't remember.
that is, someone said, is this a good coin to hold? I don't specifically know that coin, so you need Tiala or Barnaby for cryptocurrency specifically. You need them for that. I am predominantly Forex futures, stock market options that way. Crypto is not my first love language. You can speak money to me any day, just not the ones that's coins. I don't know them off the top of my head. That's why we got Barnaby and Tiala.
Absolutely. Hey guys, I just threw the Google form if you're wanting to be in the Legend group, because I got a lot of phone calls to make. I just threw it in the group. You guys can take it out of there. It's the Google form. Fill it out. Make sure you put your Telegram username on there, because some of you guys' username is like Big Booty Judy, and I don't know who that is.
Oh, well, change that, please.
Change it, please, because I'm like, don't know who you are. I'm just kidding, guys. You know I like to have fun, so don't get offended. But anyway, so just make sure that you fill out that Google form if you want to be in the Legend group, and we're going to be meeting back here at 8 o'clock. I know you got a lot going on, Zia, and I appreciate it. I'm just trying to let me fumble through here one last time, and
No
I
questions. I got you.
think I got everybody's question. Is there any way to help French speakers, because we would really like to understand better?
There's French education back here. What do you mean?
I know.
There is French education back here. So we have French as well as Spanish education. So there is more that will be loaded as we continue to go on because it's being made, literally being made as we're speaking. But there is information back here if you need it, if you do speak that language. And we do have a French educator and a Spanish speaking educator. Very fluent, both of them.
Yes. So we're
You have
excited
people
about
that
that.
speak those languages. They're absolutely welcome here. There's content for both languages. There's another one. We have English, Spanish, French, and what's the other one?
Um,
I forgot the last one.
I know we have welcome videos where we're gonna have Hindi. We got a really big
That's
Hindi
it.
team. But we do have a lot, which I like, guys. You're gonna see. We have a lot of uh videos and academies and things like that. But then there's also some written things as well, so that you guys can change the words, so you'll be able to change it because we can't do all languages. Obviously, that is the big challenge, right? Are we going to get to that point where we can have somebody come on who does Creole? I just met a person who speaks French. He's Haitian and he's very fluent. We got a really big team where now, we this is where we can start working with the community to figure out what they need. But
Yeah.
obviously, if we wait to try to translate every single video, even some of the biggest companies, Zia, you've been in, it took a moment.
Took a while.
It took a while, but we want to make sure that we are meeting you guys' needs and work. Just trust and believe that's going to happen. Okay.
For sure.
Um, do you all offer training or information on AI bot automation training?
Trading AI bot information? Is that
Uh,
what they said?
yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Yes. So if you go to, I don't know if you were on Jamar's session, that's what he will be going into. So he'll be talking about AI, how to build AI, how to build systems that can help you trade or help you get information for trading, for news, for signals, for all those things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And somebody asked real quick.
Go ahead.
No, don't fill out the form again if you guys already did it. Don't fill it out again unless you didn't put your Telegram. I think it might let you do it again and put your Telegram, but if not, don't fill it out again. And if you did by accident, it's okay. I'll see that. Please make sure you guys put the correct email address. Some of your email addresses are bouncing back because you got 3 M's in there. So when I try to send you a message, it bounced back to me. So I'm gonna call you on the phone anyway, but just do me a favor and slow down and put the right email address in there. Who do we talk to about new course ideas? David, I don't know if you're talking about Vibe Global. We have a whole onboarding for that. So type in there David Boston if that's what you're asking me. You don't necessarily talk to, you know, you're going to go through the onboarding with your courses and it's going to ask you questions and you're going to fill in info. And then we have people who are going to review that and everything. So, because maybe your course is a great idea, but it's not quite ready for a course. So, we need some tweaking, or maybe you with your brands and things like that. So, yes, I want to know about onboarding course. Yep, it'll all be in there, Andy. So you guys it'll say onboarding. And literally you need to go through the onboarding courses. That's super short. It's going to get you where you need to be, but you need to go through it because it's like orientation. It's not just let me throw my video back there because some of you guys might want to use our we're going to roll it out this month coming up, our creator studio where it's AI course creation. And you might want to utilize that. It's on the direct sales side. Okay. So we have direct sales products, we have membership products. Okay. Is the Bitcoin 2025 conference good to watch this week?
I'm gonna say yes. I don't see why it wouldn't be. I'm not going to be there, but I do know some people that are educators that will be there.
Oh yeah. And I think Jamar, he talked about it. Jamar's there, isn't he? Isn't it in Vegas?
Mm-hmm. He's there right now.
Yeah.
That's where he was. He did his session from there.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't bother him at late at night because I didn't want to mess up his Vegas. I'm always in Vegas working. I've never go to Vegas to like let my
But
hair
people are
down.
not. I'm a trader and I do not like gambling, so I don't like
Oh,
Vegas. It's not exciting for me.
yeah,
It's a
I've
lot of.
never even I can't sit at the slot machines. I can't do any of that. I'm not either.
Take
I
me
really
to
go
Utah or something.
to eat food.
Yeah, let's eat, please. Take me to Utah or something. Put me by some scenery or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never gambled in Vegas. I love the macaroons. I went to the Golden State. I'm there to strictly eat food, right? Is it possible for us to promote Vibe using a funnel? Yeah, I mean, you guys can do whatever you want, but here's what I will tell you. Some of our biggest teams over here are belly to belly. I'm going to teach you guys the basics. I'm going to show you. And if you do what I suggest, I never say Zia, do what I tell you to do. Uh, but I follow Zia because she knows what she's doing. Zia's looking at me like, okay, I've never done it.
Haven't.
Never done the networking the way that I do it. And I'm telling you, it works. And I put together a really good course that Zia actually has helped me with. So just to get all of my information in one place, do what I'm suggesting and consistently and understand that it takes people some time to get there. But yes, you can use funnels, but I will tell you this, all of our really big leaders who were once on the leaderboard using funnels, their stuff doesn't pan out because those are cold market people. Now you can take Jerome's course when he gets in Vibe Global on how to warm up your cold market. But anyway, I
Yep.
know we're going somewhere else with that, but just I'm telling you guys, if you follow what I'm going to be showing you in the next day or probably tonight or something, and do it, I promise you, it works every time. It's when I commit it to the basics. It's kind of like Uzia. When people commit to the fundamentals of trading, they're going
You're
to
that's it.
that's it. It's
Once
just
you do the simple stuff, it's literally washing clothes, the same thing over and over and over again.
and I didn't never committed to the basics. I just listened in there, but I'm like, oh, but I'm going to bounce around. It's kind of like when we're talking about God and everybody wants to know what everybody else thinks instead of having a relationship with Him yourself. That was me.
Yep.
I was like, Justin, what does this scripture mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? And Justin's like, why don't you read the book? I can help you.
Pretty simple. It's
So
simple.
it's the same thing for me. I'm more excited than everybody, I promise you, to go to through the courses myself because I know what's back there. And I'm like, I cannot wait until I can automate the marketing side of things. And when we say automate marketing, where we are going to have tools for you guys, for you to be able to be better marketers, for you to be able to send your link to somebody and they watch a video that's always playing. All that stuff is in the works so that we can go to class. We can do the basics on learning. We can do the basics on marketing, but you can never skip the basics.
Nope.
You can run as many funnels as you want to run. Guess what? Those people are going to sign up and they're going to quit next week if you don't give them this, right? And it's the same thing. We have the best educators over here because they're going to give you their heart because they love what they do. Am I right, Zia? Like all the
I would
educators?
do any other thing, anything else. Only thing I do outside of this is coach volleyball and do homeschool stuff with the kids. But teaching this, it's something about seeing somebody actually go from a worker to somebody who actually is starting to own their money, right? Because when you work for somebody, you technically are giving them responsibility. Because on the other side of things, yeah, it's amazing being consistently profitable and not having to worry about where your money's coming from because you can pull it out the markets. But that also leaves you with now you have insurance to worry about. Most people will get to a point where they're consistently profitable and won't quit their job, not saying you need to, but won't quit the job just because they're afraid to lose their insurance.
Yeah, I mean, I stayed at my job making 3,000 a month because I had really good insurance, but then it's like now I got to use my insurance because y'all are all stressing me out and I want to my stress level, my cortisol's up. I got belly fat, can't go to the gym because I'm freaking stressed because of
Mhm.
so I'm like, if I could make, that's why we're going to talk about it with the team too. When I talk about creating 1,000 and seven figure earners, it may not be in network marketing. It might be on some NFT
Yep.
market insight. It might be in the market or something because people are now making money different places and they have money to trade with, right? It's
Yeah.
different when somebody's trying to trade with $100, then it's the same market though. If I'm trading with $100, if I'm trading with $10,000, it's
Same market,
leverage and
same chart.
it's the same chart.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is when people are trying to get into the market with $100, don't have the knowledge, don't have the patience, and you lose $30 and now you're flipping your lid, right?
And you're blaming the person who told you the information, but you can't blame them because you didn't get the information that you needed.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So we're gonna learn for real. Like
I will say the ideas that are over here, they real good. And y'all know I am very strict. Those of you who know me know I'm very strict. The ideas that are over here, the crypto ones, yup. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
listen, Zia, you guys want Zia. Zia's going to the gatekeep is not the right word. Zia doesn't have any problem with adjusting things for people. You know what I mean? Like making sure she's very organized. She's probably her and Tony are two peas in a pod. I just let them vibe out together because they are super. I mean, I've never seen people so organized. It's amazing. I ain't even gonna say it's
A
crazy.
good trader, what you mean?
It's amazing. I've never seen it before, right? How organized you guys are. Um, and I say this because she's gonna say she's looking at everything. She's
Literally.
the director of education. We got to get her a cool name.
Um,
We're gonna find you a cool name
okay,
for the director of education.
I'm down. Give me what you got.
Okay, we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna chat GBT some cool names for you. But she is overseeing the most important thing that we do because the Vibe Vault is the pro and the legend membership. And then the market insights that she was talking about are in the legend side. So she's
They're
gonna,
good.
yes, we can't call her the doe because
We can't do, my best friend was called the Doe.
and it was so dope. The doe, I thought that was so dope, the director of education. So we need to get her a different name. But anyway, we are excited to have you over here. I am excited because I just believe you're probably one of the most fun, most amazing people I've ever met. And guys, when I went and hid out, when when my dad got on the call, which my dad got on the call when I was in St. Louis hiding out, Zia actually drove a couple hours and stayed at the Airbnb with me. And she came into the house, guys, and she was like, "Get up, we
We
gonna
going
get something to eat."
because why are we sitting here looking like this? Mm-mm.
I was in there and I was literally Javian was calling like, "Can I DoorDash you some food?" I lost 12 pounds. So that was a good thing, right? I lost like 12 pounds during the
No,
long.
that was not a good thing. You weren't eating. No. What?
I was eating. I would, well, no.
No.
And then listen, she takes me to a restaurant, guys, and they don't have Wi-Fi in there, and my phone wouldn't work. So I'm in there
So she
freaking out.
had to eat.
She's like, "Put your phone down.
Exactly.
Let's eat our food, right?" So I appreciate you so much. It was just so much, it was so great for us to live together for like a week. And
Right.
I just learned so much from you. So I appreciate you being over here and I'm just glad to share you with the world. I'm glad that we get to share you with our new friends inside of Vibe. So we're gonna get off here because it's 2:41 and I got a million things to do. So I will see you guys back here at 8 p.m. Eastern. I know you got things to do tonight, right? Okay. So we kind of sucked up more of her time right now because I know she won't be back. I'm going to talk to you guys briefly about this plan. So thank you so much, Zia. You want to leave the people?
Bye, everybody.
Want to leave them with anything before you go?
I will see them in the vault. So make sure when they come to class, somebody said I can't wait to pick your brain in the chat. Please, if you decide to pick my brain, do it with a spoon and not a fork. Please and thank you. Okay. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day.
All right. See you later. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you back at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Quick call tonight. So you got to be on early. Quick call, 8 to 8:30. 8 to 8:30 tonight. Okay. See you guys later. We'll upload this to into the Telegram. Peace out. Oh yeah, hold on one second.